This man scrapes the frost from his refrigerator every night until there's not a speck left. Only then will he reluctantly close the fridge. If he gets hungry, he catches the fish from his fish tank, turns them into balls, and swallows them down with a drink. It turns out Jerry is a thief. He sneaked into an art collector's house and with the help of his accomplices successfully disabled the alarm system. He quickly grabbed the valuable collectibles, but just as he was about to leave, the system malfunctioned. All the doors that had been opened automatically shut, trapping him inside. Jerry immediately tried to contact his accomplices, but they rejected his calls and left him to fend for himself. Panicking, Jerry pried open the control panel, but that didn't stop the alarm. Only when he cut the wires to the speaker did the house finally fall silent. What he didn't know was that the damaged control panel would soon become a major threat to his life. While he desperately tried to break through the door, the system quietly switched to temperature control mode. Hot air began blowing from the ceiling. Jerry tried to drink water to quench his thirst, but found the water valve had been turned off. Even the stove wouldn't light. The only thing left in the fridge was a tiny amount of caviar, his only source of survival. Jerry continued his work trying to break the door down. After a while, he realized there was an iron door hidden behind the wooden one. At his wit's end, he sought help from his accomplices, but they had already abandoned him and fled. With no other option, Jerry decided to sleep for a while. The next morning, he heard the sound of a helicopter outside. He rushed out, but then realized he couldn't hear any sound from inside the house. Jerry carefully examined the structure of the house and suspected that the glass ceiling might be his only way out. He moved all the tables beneath it to climb up, but soon grew exhausted and went to the bathtub for water. Unfortunately, it was filled with seawater, undrinkable, so he had no choice but to eat the ice cubes to cool down and quench his thirst. It was a ridiculous sight. In such a luxurious house, there wasn't even drinkable water. With no time left to lose, Jerry tried to use a rope and iron wire to reach the ceiling, but still couldn't touch it. Meanwhile, the malfunctioning system raised the temperature to 38 degrees Celsius. It was unbearable, so Jerry had to crawl into the fridge to cool off and even ate all the frost inside. At that moment, he heard the sound of water spraying outside. He rushed out and discovered it was the automatic irrigation system watering the plants. That gave Jerry a temporary chance to survive. Jerry no longer had to worry about cooling off. To obtain more fresh water resources, he placed many basins under the sprinkler. Each time spray provided him with enough drinking water. One day he saw the large flower pot in his room, and suddenly came up with a bold idea. The man lifted the vase using all his strength to smash it against the floor. With a deafening crash, the expensive vase shattered into countless pieces. Immediately after, he carefully sifted through the sharp fragments, selecting two that were relatively round. He wrapped the edges of the shards with cloth and then secured them tightly with tape. Soon, a very rudimentary pair of sunglasses was ready. Despite its simplicity, these makeshift glasses were a lifesaver for the man who had been trapped in the mansion for a week. After putting on the homemade sunglasses, the man crawled slowly up to the ceiling of the living room, using the furniture as makeshift scaffolding. In his left hand, he held a sharpening rod, in his right, a spoon. His goal was to pry open the frame of the ventilation shaft and remove the blast-proof glass in the middle. This was his only chance to escape the eerie mansion. The frame was soon pried open, creating a small gap, and the debris fell like snow, dusting the man's face. Just in time, the simple sunglasses blocked the debris, allowing him to open his eyes and significantly improving his efficiency. But then, to his horror, he discovered a bolt embedded inside the frame. He frantically twisted it with his hands, but it wouldn't budge. A wave of despair washed over him. He quickly grabbed a knife and pried the entire frame open. To his surprise, there were 12 bolts beneath the frame, securely fastening the blast-proof glass in place. They blocked his only hope of escaping. In a panic, the man frantically searched the mansion, trying to find a wrench to unscrew the bolts. But it seemed the mansion's owner had planned ahead. The drawers were full of useless kitchen tools. Worse still, at that moment, the broken air conditioning system suddenly switched to cooling mode.